Here we go.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go. Make us no chaser.
Legendary.
Like a fucking pacemaker.
Comic Cares, Live Cares, Show. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? I'm late. Yeah, I'm a little bit late. 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from saying dirty words in the first minute, but I wanted to tell you to go, stick it up your ass! There you go. What's happening? Poopers, Josie, Pants, thank you so much. Donators, members. I have bad news for all of you. Locale work tonight. I'm meeting with the boys, so there will be no after show. See if I can make up for it. Something else. I haven't ironed it down. Probably doing the Orlando Derby. That's on Glory Hunters. So I'll be there. You can go there. You're gonna miss it because you're a working man again.
Yep.
Are you sad?
Got to shower my wife and gifts now.
You can't stay up and watch football all night in America with me.
It's shit. It's absolutely shit.
Yeah, I know. You got your regular.
I've enjoyed my. I've enjoyed my time being off.
You're probably like, I can't wait to get back to work and all the cool shit I used to do, and I didn't have to work.
Well, that's it. That's it. All the
within
the cool things
2 months,
I've got to do.
Staying up to watch football in the States will seem stupid. Like I would fuck that. I'm not doing that. So just look at it that way. Look at that one.
Why are you still tired? Well, I was watching Messi. I was watching Messi. When you watch it on? Oh, we're doing a show called Glory Hunters.
Wow.
We're kind of a big deal on the internet now.
Yeah, right. Let's get right to it. You're a gamer, man. That's why you're here.
Yes.
The gamer man's here. Everybody.
And I'm getting called Optimus Billy in the chat.
Optimus Billy? I don't know. I can't. All these are so long. Cheater Billy, I think I might skip the second one. We might do part 2 here, and then there's a new one today. Let's start it. Let's get, or maybe we could do like a synopsis of all 3. He's getting mad views off that. You know what it is? Here's what I think's happening. Billy is a cheater. I mean, everybody knows it. It's not really even up to debate.
We don't know that, Tommy. We don't know if he's a cheater. Billy,
if you have a problem with that, Billy, if you have a problem with that, Billy, you should take it up with Atlanta. And
I think Billy is a great video game player.
Question at this point. So
the arcade board he was using was legit back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, it's come to the point, because I've seen him lie under oath and stuff, that I don't think he can physically help himself. I think he's like, he lies when it's not in his best interest to. So he's not, I don't know if it's even turned out that the video game of the century thing.
Yeah,
he got an award from Namco, but that wasn't it. He just made it up, and then he had an identical plaque made up saying "Video Gamer of the Century." That was all his invention. And nobody could check it up because they gave him an award for getting a perfect game in like Japanese Gamescom, and he turned it because he's such a lying sack of shit, and he's litigious to boot.
I'm really bad at explaining things.
Hit that like button. Edwin coming out of the closet. Why would you care if Edwin's out of the closet, you weirdo? So,
did you hear the show? He told you for 45 minutes straight he wasn't.
Yeah. Fucking pay attention, poofers, you big dummy.
No, but you're right, Tommy, because it's like obviously the Japanese aren't really looking at what Billy Mitchell's done.
Yeah,
and it has been more the American side. So the fact that like he's went there,
they're like, we gave him a plaque.
Whole thing.
We gave him a plaque. That's it. We thought it'd be fun. He turned it into a career. All right, watching Karl. So yesterday, if you watched our content about like content, today's Sniper Wolf Wednesday. We're gonna do the same thing Sniper Wolf does.
Listen, fuckhead.
Because it's funny. Nicole is a real fuckhead. And remember, thanks so much. Too bad you couldn't watch the after show, but possibly tomorrow, or maybe I'll do some kind of sensing session in the next couple days. Here we go. Karl
Hello,
Jobst,
you absolute
everybody.
legends. Can you believe it? It's been over 4 years since Billy Mitchell, con man of the century.
By the way, he sued Karl Jobst for this. And let's not forget, Billy, he seemed to have next to no problem. Like, he was more concerned about himself when, what's his name, died? Apollo Legend.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, like he was more worried about himself. That didn't faze him at all. That kid killed himself. Billy was like, fuck him. He shouldn't have done a video on me. You know.
Sued Twin Galaxies for defamation. The lawsuit has dragged on for far too long, but thankfully we have reached the final stretch. A trial date has been set for the 27th of October, which means we have only 3 months to go before Billy Mitchell gets absolutely destroyed. These final few months are where everything starts to ramp up, and one of the most exciting aspects of trial preparations are the depositions. All we've heard from so far on Billy's side is Billy. Sure, he has provided...
What the hell kind of name is Jobst?
Swedish or something?
It's gotta be. Hold on.
Dutch.
He looks like he's Swedish or something. Let's find out. I know he's Australian. German? Really? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I can see. I definitely in that area at least.
Central, yeah. But he's like really fair. Like Karl Jobst is so blonde, it's frightening. I don't see any. He's like Children of the Corn, you know, and shit, blonde. You know what I mean? You know?
The eyes are going to go blue and heads are going to explode.
Yeah, exactly. He's a creepy guy. He creepy looking. Great YouTuber. Excellent. Creep.
Statements, but let me tell you, they're
creepy guy. Not creepy like he's done anything. Like I don't know. It's like he's a walking jump scare. You know.
There is a big difference between having some words on a piece of paper and actually having that person tell their story face to face with a lawyer under oath. Billy Mitchell has claimed that he has multiple witnesses and that multiple people were involved in helping him achieve the world records. But what happens when Twin Galaxies gets to talk with those witnesses directly and ask them questions?
Discovery.
Well, a complete disaster is what happens. When Billy's so-called witnesses are asked what happened, it ends up being the complete
I made a mistake.
opposite of what Billy was claiming. Every witness that is being called is destroying Billy's case and exposing lie after lie after lie. And today, we are going to have a quick look at 2 examples. I'm going to show you Billy testifying under oath as to what allegedly happened, and then I'm going to show you what his...
Apparently that testimony is a gold mine on January 9th, 2023. An absolute gold mine.
Witnesses...
The thing is,
cherry picking.
Billy's getting old, too. You know, you can see it now. He's not a kid no more.
That happened, and it's completely different. Billy will say that someone did something, and that very same person will say that it never happened. And it's not just Billy who's lying, it appears to be his lawyers as well. It seems like Billy's representation may be just as corrupt as
he... This is something I wouldn't do. I would not call a lawyer a liar. But
no.
Not even in another country. I think I would stay away from that. Except he was like representing Britbong or something, because I've gotten several emails from Britbong's lawyers, and I always send a picture of my my balls.
I was going to say, what body part? The arse or the balls?
Yeah, the balls. My balls.
He is. As you'll see, as soon as one of their lies gets exposed, they just completely change their story to something else, no matter how ridiculous it is. I cannot emphasize enough how bad things are going for Billy, and this video is just
3 videos later, you'll be able to do it, I think, Karl, if you try hard enough.
Just a taste of what's been going on. I really hope you enjoy.
I will.
Now, legends, I absolutely love cereal.
Nah, he's too fair to be German.
And I know you do too. But let's be honest, cereal just...
Yeah, it is. Can't you picture
that is Children of the Corn, dude. You're 100% right.
Staring at you.
Dude, I feel like he's taking my soul just now.
Yeah, Like your house is on fire in the cornfield, and he's just staring at it.
It's what? No, it's not Children of the Corn. It's what was it?
Village of the Damned.
Village of the Damned. Yeah,
that's
the Damned.
No, the Twilight Zone episode when all the kids kind of like look robotic. I remember that one too. That's what it reminds me of.
Doesn't seem to fit into an adult diet. There's just way too much sugar.
Oh, I don't want to listen to your fucking commercial, man. Fit in your adult. Oh, this is a funny commercial though. It's cereal for grown-ups. That's not bad for you.
Oh, did I want that?
Yeah. Well, you might have to check out Magic Spoon.
Yeah, Magic Spoon.
Record Billy claims to have achieved at the
probably should get it too because I love cereal.
Mortgage Brokers Convention in 2007. The very same world record where he was photographed standing in front of a modified machine with a non-original red joystick. First is a game.
I didn't know the joystick had to be original too. I didn't know that. I thought it just had to be the board. Well, what do I know?
No, it was the joystick as well. Because I remember that's one thing me and you were talking about. Because when this picture surfaced, the first thing before you even noticed, you clicked onto the joystick straight away, and you're like, "I'm sure it was black back in the day."
Yeah.
For that card.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. But I didn't know. I didn't know like what the joystick rules were with Twin Guy. There's gonna come a point when there's not enough boards that are operable anymore. You know, so they're gonna have to and stuff like that.
Manager. In an MTV article from 2007, it says the GameStop manager was in charge of keeping the machine secure and that he had a special lock for the machine. This way, no one could open the back and tinker with it over the weekend. The article says that a security guard, a notary public, and a manager from a nearby GameStop were watching while the Donkey Kong board was placed into the machine. As the fabled story goes, Billy had the board sent to Nintendo to verify its authenticity, and the board was sent to the Mortgage Brokers Convention where it was placed into the machine, and the machine was locked.
The fact of the matter is, the area manager plugged it into the game, and he padlocked the game. He padlocked it, and nobody could get in it.
After Billy got the world record, the arcade was unlocked and the board was sent straight back to Nintendo. All through Billy's lawsuit, he contends that it's not possible that he played on an emulator because the board was verified by Nintendo. In his original court...
When does Nintendo get time to do that? Like, Mitchell set a board in, let's make sure it's one of ours. I mean, like, fuck off, you know, like...
Filings.
Does everybody drop Smash Brothers? Everybody drop it.
That's like really sus off the bat, you know?
Mortgage Brokers input the board.
Right?
I was going to say, it's not even that. I know Nintendo... Sega's still massive in the arcade section in Japan. Nintendo are slightly, so there is a chance maybe somebody did look, but I don't know. With Nintendo, that's the problem.
I don't know how difficult it would be to see this is an original board. But
board into the Donkey.
The problem is, the people who were in Twin Galaxies at the time, like the referees, were probably in on the fix as well.
Machine before locking it. However, in a later filing, Billy said that it was actually the GameStop manager that inserted the board into the machine. Now, what's lacking in everything so far is any mention of the recording equipment, because remember...
If I was Billy Mitchell, I'd be like, all right, I cheated. God damn it, let's fucking... It's getting to be too much.
It's nearly 40 years, come on.
Come on, man.
This world record was apparently recorded to VCR. If you want to record Donkey Kong direct feed into a VCR...
You know I want to talk to? Do you remember the really religious guy that became a lawyer in King of Kong? And he like, when he was like 20 or 19, he did lie about his score. He submitted a false score or something like that. And then when Billy Mitchell, I guess he got he got the screen kill. And it became, because it ran out of RAM, became very obvious that he couldn't have scored what he scored, right? And he had to come, he tells a whole story about coming to terms with a lie that he told, and then, coming to Jesus and becoming a religious person. And I wanted to hear that guy interviewed, because he admitted it when he was a kid. He was like a child lying for some stupid stuff, which is understandable, and forgivable. And Billy's like pushing 60. If he's not 60
still selling
already.
his hot sauce, dude.
Still
Selling that hot sauce.
Did
you ever buy it?
Still lying. You know, Billy's hot sauce? I would. Mickey's hot sauce?
VCR, you need a converter that will convert the RGB signal to NTSC. And Billy Mitchell has specified the exact converter that was used.
Nice.
As part of their ongoing investigation, Twin Galaxies enlisted the help of Vintage Arcade Superstore in California. This is the same arcade retailer that was featured in the 2015 documentary Man vs. Snake. Definitely give that one a watch if you've never seen it. Vintage Arcade Superstore faithfully recreated the exact setup that Billy Mitchell claims to have used during his mortgage broker's score, even down to the same joystick. And this video shows you exactly how the recording setup works.
So here we have a mostly all original Donkey Kong. The only thing that is changed from the factory is this red joystick. This is the similar or the same joystick that was...
So that joystick could negate the score by itself, even if he did do it legitimately. I would think. Yeah.
Used in the mortgage broker picture. This is, at least to us, what is the same exact one. But this is an all original cabinet.
What a pain in the ass.
It is also using the same VCR that was
Jesus,
in the picture.
you found a
the
VCR.
Panasonic VCR. And it is also using the same converter board, the 2-bit converter board that was used in, or that is what Billy said that he used. Going from the Donkey Kong video, Donkey Kong video, over to an inverter that is factory. The inverter is going through the video to the machine. We have a wiring harness coming out to the 2-bit score that Billy Mitchell used. From there, we're going to go back up to the VCR.
Such an elaborate cheat, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
But it's not a cheat. He's showing you how he recorded it, which is a pain in the ass.
To the television.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please tell me though, Tommy's inside your
This
units.
setup is still on display at Vintage Arcade Superstore, so if you're in the area, feel free to pop in, say hi, and have a look. Now, in Billy's deposition, he explained that it was the GameStop manager that not only installed the Donkey Kong board, but also connected the converter and set up the recording equipment.
So eventually that Donkey Kong machine had a PC board put into it, right?
Correct.
Who did that?
It was a guy who Walter contacted. He was a manager of GameStop. He came over.
Why would a GameStop employee have any knowledge about 80s arcades? Like, what a weird thing. Most people that worked at GameStop were dopey.
You're looking at PlayStation era at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Received the board that had been sent there. He put
It's
it
like
in.
a service. Of course, GameStop employee. Are you kidding me? Most people work there for a couple years and leave. They're not like that into it, you know?
Inside the machine, and that camcorder was used by the lady Sheila to videotape him putting it in.
Were you there?
I watched.
You watched the whole thing?
Yes.
So explain to me what you saw.
I saw him take the board, and it was pretty self-explanatory that this connects here, there, because it only connects one way. He connected everything.
Boy, he looks nervous, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's really trying to watch what he's saying, you can see.
He really is.
He locked up the cabinet.
Oops.
He put a padlock on it so that it could not be opened.
When you say he connected everything, what exactly do you mean?
He hooked up the board to all the connectors, excuse me, and the converter board got connected in order to draw the signal that would be recorded. And then he locked the cabinet.
So he installed the converter board?
Yeah, well, the converter board was already there, it just had to be plugged in.
Logically, if what Billy Mitchell is saying is true, the GameStop manager would confirm that he did install the converter and set up the recording equipment. And remember, the arcade machine was locked, so if the GameStop manager didn't do it, it was impossible for anyone else to do it either. But that's not what happened. In the GameStop manager's deposition, which was conducted last month, the lawyer for Twin Galaxies asks, "Did you set up any AV equipment in connection with your installation of the PCB at the mortgage brokers convention?" And the manager replies, "Not at all." They ask,
Oh, God.
did you set up any recording equipment? To which he replies, not at all. They also go into detail about cables that should have been coming out of the back of the cabinet if it was being recorded to a VCR. They ask, so is it fair to say that there was no RCA cable coming out of the back of the cabinet that you locked? That's correct. There was no cable.
I'm surprised he told the truth. He's like, so Billy told one thing that was true. He locked it. That's it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's it. It's the only thing he done. He locked the
Correct.
cabinet.
There was no cable. Got it. I just want to be 100% certain there was no RCA cable coming out of the back. Yes, there was no RCA cable.
Yeah, so that means it couldn't have been recorded.
The only cable was the power cable. In other words, there's no way for that gameplay to have been recorded to a VCR. Is that right? Not externally, no. And to this point, the guy that Billy said set up his recording equipment...
Well, it couldn't have been done internally either. There's no option to do that. Is there? No.
No.
Ugh.
No,
He's
I don't
flat
think
out
so,
saying-
no. Because at least with the even with the VCRs, the only like closest thing to like an Elgato was the old capture cards, like a PVR, stuff like that, if you were plugging it in.
This machine is 42 years old. You know?
Yeah.
that not only did he not do that, but there was no way that the Donkey Kong machine was being recorded to a VCR at all. There weren't even any cables connected. Billy's lawyer obviously realized how damaging to his case this testimony was, so he decided to change the story completely and create a brand new insane scenario, saying, I'm going to represent
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say the lawyer told him to do that. Just let Billy eat it.
To you that Walter Day will testify that there was a 2-bit converter already attached to the board when
look up how old Walter Day is now. He's got to be in his mid to late 70s. I mean, he's got...
board was sent to Nintendo, and Mr. Mitchell will also testify to that, and that when
74.
the board arrived...
Yeah.
74. He's no kid.
From Nintendo, it already had a 2-bit converter attached to it so that a cable could run where the power cord goes up and to a VCR. Billy's lawyer is legitimately fabricating a false story out of thin air that goes against everything Billy has said previously and is physically impossible. Let's rapid fire through some of the problems that makes this story ridiculous. The 2-bit converter doesn't attach to the board. That is impossible. The converter attaches to the inverter, which is a separate piece of equipment. If you wanted to attach the converter to the board, you would literally have to modify the board in a huge way. So Billy's lawyer is essentially saying that they sent a modified PCB with a converter attached to it to Nintendo, who perplexingly verified that everything was original Nintendo hardware. Then, after it was sent back, the GameStop manager installed the board without noticing that it was a modified board with a huge converter attached to it, and that somehow the audio-video signal was sent straight from the converter out the back of the machine, even though the GameStop manager didn't do it and says there was no cable. And the
case closed.
Yeah. But there's no way, just like the part of sending a modified thing to Nintendo
that kind of kills it for me, because they're not in the business of doing that. You know?
Ooh.
Let's try the second video.
Now, if you're right,
the fact that Nintendo still hit people on YouTube for like slightest things, still says what they're like. They are so strict, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. When did they have time? Like who could, like you call Nintendo up and they say, hey, listen, can you check this shit out if it's one of your original equipment? You gotta figure some of the people working that game are dead. It was 40 years old. How could it? How many people in there are working with or retired? Like how many people over there are even equipped to verify it? Much less do they have any kind of SOP to verify arcade boards? I'm guessing they don't.
Like I said, Nintendo arcades are very few between. It's still Sega. Sega's still the king over there. So it's Sega, I would believe, but not Nintendo.
Yeah, you might have a few guys hanging around from back then, but even like we don't do that. We sell video games. We don't verify your fucking scores, dipshit. That's
we're building the Switch too. Fuck off. We're not looking at your 1980s board.
I highly recommend, so you don't make Jack's Films mad, to check out all these videos. We're only watching part of them because I don't want to piss anybody off.
But we're being transparent. We are being very transparent.
Transparent. No, transformative, dipshit.
Dude, come on. I'm
Scottish.
Look,
here, look how transformative I am. Here, watch this. Hold on, I'll show you. Here we go. I'm gonna transform this whole fucking thing. Watch me. Yeah, got it. No, that's not it. Well, I didn't transform much there. Let's see. No. Okay, here we go. I moved it over a little bit. That'll make a transformer. There you go. One here.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Transformative.
Did people saying break out the Xmas layout? There you go.
Hey, where's
nearly squatching? It's nearly time.
Speaking of, where is my other layout? I don't got anything in the background going.
Oh, did you reinstall it when you got the new PC?
Yeah, I did. The stream loop. I must have just deleted it by accident. Copy. And paste. I don't know what happened. There we go. It's here. Ooh, there we go. Now it's not playing. Oh, there's... I don't know what happened here. Hold on. Remove. Was it just... I don't know. Oh. They're both frozen. All right. Remove. And refresh. I don't fucking know. I don't care anymore. Why isn't that working? Play forever. There we go. I don't fucking know. Here we go. Conman Billy Mitchell caught faking evidence. This is what kills the video game player of the century bullshit. It's pretty funny.
Hello, you absolute legends. I learnt a very interesting fact recently. Did you know that Billy Mitchell is the video game player of the century?
Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century. Hi, I'm Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century. Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
I'm Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
I'm Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
I mean, I used to think this is an act.
That has to be.
No, it's not. He's just a nut. That's what he is. Like, who would do this to themselves? And cheat and lie and sue to keep it all together. You're a nut. He thinks he's the video game player of the century.
Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
He barely mentions it, so this one flew under the radar for me, but apparently it's true. In 1999, Billy was crowned Video Game Player of the Century by none other than Namco. And as we all know, Namco is the adjudicating body and ultimate decider of...
What did it say? What's it? Who decides who the video game player of the century is? What kind of stupid question that every known counts decides who the video game player of the century is? Next time, use ChatGPT. Don't ask you the question that is completely obvious. You are certainly not an absolute legend.
Who the video game player of the century is, so if Namco says it, it's legit. Personally, I believe everything Billy Mitchell says, so I know for a fact that this really happened. I mean, if it didn't happen, then why is Billy calling himself Video Game Player of the Century? Billy would never lie, so the story must be true. But unfortunately, there are people out there that just want to hate Billy Mitchell because they are jealous. Jealous of his video gaming skill and jealous of his mullet. And they hate him so much that they refuse to accept Billy's story, and even go as far as calling him a liar. According to Twin Galaxies, who is currently suing Billy for fraud, Namco never did crown Billy Video Game Player of the Century, and they say that Billy has just been lying about what happened for over 20 years. And they say that the plaque Billy is shown holding has nothing to do with being Player of the Century at all. Twin Galaxies have been asking Billy for the plaque for years, or any evidence that he was crowned Player of the Century by Namco. But Billy said he doesn't have the plaque, or any photos, or any evidence, or anything at all.
Like, as soon as I get a lawsuit out of the all right, I'm lying. You know, I mean, like, nah, not Billy Mitchell. Nah, not at all.
That confirms what he
that. Some of the, whoever even was the president back then in Amco, they must have went through a good few, and the old ones will be dead now.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's 99. It wasn't that long ago. It was 99 when he got it. He got the perfect game for 99. That's what happened. They gave him a perfect game plaque. That's what they did. He's the first guy to do it, supposedly. And that doesn't even seem to be true anymore. There's another guy that did it before he did, and they covered it up. You know?
Was that the guy that was really bitter?
Here's the thing that gets me. I always thought that King Kong was a bit exaggerated, and I knew some of it was because I just happened to. There's this old podcast called Retro Gaming Weekly or something. I remember this big fat guy. I think his name was Troy, and then he had this black guy co-host who passed away during the Retro Gaming Radio is called, right? So
yeah,
I went back and checked the interview. He was at some of the events that would have been recorded by, like he did podcasts, and he was at some of the events that would have been recorded by King Kong. And Billy and Steve Wiebe were getting along just fine. And they set it up, like, in the way they edited it, it looks like it was, like, because they needed a bad guy. So I just thought a lot of this stuff was an act. It's pretty clear what happened to Steve Wiebe. He wasn't in the club. So they tried to do whatever they could to keep him get a thing. And I think that may have happened.
That's the guy's name. Yeah, because I remember you showing me the guy. And I think because he's passed now, hasn't he? Has he passed away?
You're thinking. No, I'm not talking about. No, you're thinking. I know he popped his head up. You're thinking about Captain Awesome. I'm talking about Steve Wiebe.
That's
the video
Captain Awesome. I'm thinking.
Billy Mitchell Gamers Rise Up. Thank you. I could use a few more of them, by the way. Thank you. Steve Wiebe. No. Steve Wiebe was the central character in the movie. And I always thought that was the whole thing was a little no, but they did. They came over to his house, took his machine apart, and said there's a gummy substance on the board. And the reason because that guy Captain Awesome sent him the board. But he appears to be alive. I think I sent that to Tipster because me and Tipster have been debating for years whether he's dead or not. Because Billy Mitchell got busted and he just kept quiet, which is impossible to believe. You know?
Was lost, and Billy has no idea where it.
He said this guy was Captain Awesome. Said he was Roy Schilt. This guy's name. He said years ago that Billy was cheating at these games. Years.
Was. That is, until recently, when shockingly, the plaque was found. But not just one plaque, 2 plaques.
You know what this is we're looking at? We're looking at 80s autism.
Billy provided...
This is what they call 80s autism. Right, Matt?
Yeah, 100%.
He has 100% 80s autism. Okay. The guy doesn't even know when the jig is up. It's 80s autism. That's what it looks like.
This is much more peaceful autism, you know?
Do you know what 50s autism look like? Your own fucking
Pet rocks?
laboratory set, you know, and beakers dripping down with fucking shit, and that's it. But that was 80s autism.
A photo of the plaques, which immediately showed that these were not the same plaques that were given to Billy in 1999. These were obvious fakes. And it's not even a question. These are just completely different. Billy had remade plaques and tried to pass them off as the one he received in 1999. Billy is quite literally creating fake evidence in a lawsuit, and the story that Billy's lawyers are trying to spin after this got exposed is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. In today's video, we are going to have a quick...
Really, Karl? You never heard anything stupider than this? Come on. Come on. Clearly, he's never talked to Smaggle Daggle, not once in his life.
Look at these fake plaques. And the story behind how they got exposed is really funny. If you want a textbook example of incompetence, you're going to find it right here. I really
By the way, if you're not happy, blame Nick DiOrio. He's the one that talked me into doing this because he's like heavier into arcades than I am.
Now, dude, I've seen the picture.
He's into it. He's into it. He has modified first gen fucking arcades and shit.
Like I said, if I can get space in here, I'm slapping one in. I just need to make space.
Yeah, you should get one. Yeah.
Now we all know that
I'll fly up there if you get one.
Billy Mitchell's story makes absolutely no sense and is full of gigantic plot.
It'd be funny if you were wheeling the fucking thing or carrying the package in and Marie's there. What are you doing here? We should do that for a joke. Hey.
Oh no, dude, legit, right? Okay, geeky moment. I've had to do that with Transformers I've bought. She has not known about certain ones I've bought for like £200, and I've had to hide them.
Hold on a second. Scrubby did buy my Star Wars arcade.
Dude, also remember that PC wasn't broke.
No, that's not. That was an honest mistake, though.
That was a mistake.
That was an honest mistake. You prick! You fucking exposed me. What a jerk! You see what this ass, Matt? You see what this asshole just said?
No, what's up?
If you want a really good story,
watch the show.
You should definitely play the futuristic mythology RPG.
No, I don't want to watch a fucking RPG. Looks like it's for fucking.
It's no cereal. If it was cereal,
it was like for fucking flamenco on steroids here. Jesus Christ, this looks really weird and gay.
According to Billy Mitchell, in 1999 he was crowned Video Game Player of the Century at the Tokyo Game Show, and we've all seen the photo of him standing on stage.
I always look at those Asian chicks.
With Masaya Nakamura, being presented with a plaque. Since that time, Billy has been calling himself the video game
I am Masaya Nakamura! I go on a game champion!
Player of the Century, and has been telling the story about how he was crowned.
Is that Shinsuke Nakamura's dad?
I don't know. I'm sure Nakamura's like Johnson in Japan or something.
Actually, I was talking about the other
I
was talking about the other Shinsuke Nakamura, the guy who played for Celtic.
Dude, I was going to keep it the gaming route and saying, think they based Hitachi off him at the end of Tekken.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They could have, because Tekken was out.
Yeah, it's Namco too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, eventually, again, just as him, the most memorable moment goes back to Masaya Nakamura. He flew me.
His name's Messiah. I am the Messiah.
Last season, everybody. Last season.
He actually has the power to change into Pac-Man.
Did they use him in that fucking Adam Sandler? Was that an actor that played him?
Didn't the dwarf based? Wasn't the dwarf based on Billy Mitchell?
He was based on Billy Mitchell. Yeah.
What was? Yeah, I knew that he was based on Billy. He went to prison. But what was, they had like the creator of Pac-Man and then Pac-Man bit him or something in the movie.
Yeah, I've never watched that movie.
That was like the best scene in the movie.
It's bad.
It's a bad movie, but there was just a few moments that are pretty funny. Yeah.
To Japan,
the guy put the cheat code in the money and that's how he could cheat in the games. It was Billy Mitchell.
Wait, they made him a cheater?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's how Adam Sandler couldn't win, because whatever that guy's name is, he cheated in the competition back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he'd done like the Konami code on the board, which you couldn't do anyhow. So,
yeah.
But when they're driving in the minis, he does it again, and he can teleport in real life. It is so bad. It's an Adam Sandler
Mitchell
movie.
didn't sue the movie? Did he sue the movie?
No.
I watched it. I fell asleep in the middle of it, and then I watched the end. I don't know what happened, but what's his name was in it? There was some funny parts. Yeah, the funniest part is Dan Aykroyd was the announcer of the 1982 Donkey Kong Off or whatever it was. Video games. He was like the perfect guy to do it. He was like the old dorky guy. And hey guys, we're here to play video games. You know, it was pretty. The Aykroyd did a good job.
There at the Tokyo Game Show, I had many world records in addition to Pac-Man, in addition to the perfect game.
You know what that guy's thinking on the right over there?
Crowned me the video game player.
You are a big liar! You have disgrace! You have no honor!
You dishonored your family!
You dishonor your family! We're stocking the radio. Maybe you can help us out with this.
There's something in the chat. I can't keep my hand on it.
Japan, no one lie about Pac-Man Palace! You Yankee round eye!
Your trophy is a lose.
At the Tokyo Game Show.
That's what sent me to Japan.
Can you imagine going place to place and lying about this for fucking damn near 25 years? I mean, what a jerk off.
Sounds like a fun life, honestly.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a guy that's lying about my video game product. That's how I'm gonna die. You know.
Where there was 100,000.
I'd much rather be a loser than just missed out on a big YouTube career. I'd take that in a minute.
$1 prize for anybody in Japan who could beat me, and nobody beat me.
Because you cheated. We have honor.
But it was there that I was crowned the video game player of the century. And in 1999, that was a big deal.
Because they sent me a first.
Even if I had believed that at the time, I would have started drinking. You're like, oh God, shut the fuck up, guy, man. I still going on.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Video games have only been around for like 30 years.
Yeah.
There's not much
That's
of a
true.
century
It's not a
there.
long century. It's like 20 years later.
Yeah.
You're fucking century.
Tell you what, the video game of the century in 2100 is going to be fucking.
Yeah. It'd be bad.
Somebody autistic.
Where I was honored, I was given an award, I was crowned the video
He's
game player
autistic.
of the century for that achievement, along with everything that I had done prior to that.
Probably that guy would have cheated too. The new guy, the new this century.
To be seated there in front of Messiah Nakamoto, I mean, that's...
Talking to the radio's mom. Billy, stop lying. Go be doctor.
Go be doctor.
Go be doctor. Stop lying.
Just too incredible.
The arcades.
Credit to. And, you know,
you with
he
arcades.
was
One
so
more
good to
time.
me. And, you know, and on stage, he presented me with my award for Pac-Man and a video game player of the century.
Headed by Namco, who created Pac-Man, flew me there without a doubt. It was the honor of all time in the gaming world. And yes, they presented me with video game player of the century.
However, aside...
It's like Jobst is editing this to the point where I'm getting a stomach ache. You know, like, oh. It's like really bad. It's so cringe at this point. I don't even use
That is unbelievable.
So beyond.
Nakamura flew me. I was the greatest player ever. Greatest player ever.
Aside from Billy telling this story, there is absolutely no evidence that this ever happened. Yes, Billy did appear on stage, and the photo of him holding a plaque is real. But in the years following this event, Billy toured with the plaque, and we even have photos of it and could read what it says.
Yeah, we should have known Billy was lying because he's fucking white. He never could have been that good at video games.
This is what's written on the plaque. It congratulates Billy on his perfect Pac-Man score and advertises the upcoming release of the new Pac-Man game on the PlayStation. There is no mention of Billy being the player of the century. Even the reporting at the time didn't mention anything about the player of the century. Instead, they...
So the article came out, we all read the article, and then he started putting out statements that he was a video game player of the century, and then you see that picture, it's a pretty good lie. And it's like, well, who's going to doubt him? And Namco's not going to go out of their way to correct this situation and say, hey, guys, we didn't say that. What do they care? It's supposed to be fun to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be taking that seriously. What a jerk.
They probably didn't even know.
No, I bet they didn't.
He just said Billy received a commemorative plaque, or received the Pac-Man 20th Anniversary Award, which, according to the text on the plaque itself, is exactly what he received. There was never any statement from Namco that they
fucking years ago, you believe that?
crowned Billy Player of the Century. No reporting at the time reported this, and the plaque itself doesn't even say it. It's almost as if Billy Mitchell made it up. Since this time, there has only ever been one plaque, and it's always the same one that Billy took around and showed off to people at conventions. At some point, the bottom broke off the award, which is why it looks different in later photos. This story is very important to Billy, and he repeats it all the time.
Took me to Asia, where in 1999, after having
you gotta be some
history's
kind of
first
psycho
perfect
to
Pac-Man,
lie this much.
on stage
It's like, it hurts my
at the
belly.
Tokyo Game Show, in front of 70,000 people, Masaya Nakamura presented me.
And I know it's a video, like, well, yeah, of course you could lie about a video game thing, but I don't know, I'd get sick of telling this lie.
Yeah.
The Video Game Player of the Century Award.
The plaque was even shown off in The King of Kong, but according to
And the other thing is, it makes sense because it was 1999. They were giving a lot of the century awards back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's when, even though gaming was big, it was starting to hit the stratosphere.
It was going after high. It was starting. It was just about past Hollywood at that point, where it was hitting the sky. Yeah.
Galaxies, Billy Mitchell has been lying about what happened for over 2 decades, and as part of the discovery process in their lawsuit against him, they wanted to get a hold of the plaque to show that it didn't say anything about the player of the century. However, Billy Mitchell refused to hand over anything. He said he didn't have the plaque, he said he didn't have any photos, he said he didn't have any documentation from Namco saying they gave him the award, nor did he have any video from the event itself showing...
But Namco won't tell you. They said, no, we gave you that award, but they will check your fucking board for some stupid thing that they have nothing to do with and gain nothing from. Sure.
What happened. He had nothing. Then, during Billy Mitchell's deposition in January, he said the most peculiar thing. He said that he actually received 2 plaques from Namco.
Can you tell me what this is?
This is a plaque I received from them. That's the Pac-Man guy that I talk about. And this is the one that talks about Pac-Man. And
call me nut. Like, I'd be scared to lie like this in court. I just gotta go to jail.
Yeah, this is like shit yourself now.
He kind of knows you can lie in court and get away with it, unless the only way you go if you commit perjury is if somebody doesn't like you. My wife committed perjury over my custody right in the courtroom, and then nobody did shit to her.
Yeah, such a part of.
She got caught. They even told her not to lie. And they, why would you arrest her? Nope.
The culture, how I achieved the first perfect score.
You know how bad I got my ex-wife? I'll tell you how bad I got my ex-wife. This is how bad she got caught lying. She said I hadn't seen my daughter in 3 months. 3 months, right? She said, I have no idea where he was. And it was from month A to month B. I was just gone, out of here. No idea where was he. That's why I'm trying to get total custody. He abandoned his child. Well, every 2 weeks, on those months that she said I never saw her, I brought her on a military installation to buy my family shit. Yes. So you know what you got to do when you go on a military installation and you're a foreigner? You need a passport. You know what they do when they have your passport? Well, they write down the number, but they take a picture of it too. I sent that to the judge, and she still didn't get arrested. They just told her not to pull that shit again. I wonder if I got the same treatment.
No, you wouldn't.
So you can lie in court. It just depends if you piss somebody off. That's it.
Player of the Century plaque?
No, this is a different one.
No, this is different.
Is this the one that you were holding in the picture?
No, it's not.
So you were given 2 different plaques?
2 awards from Namco.
All right.
Just like I said earlier.
And this was one of them, the other one was a Player of the Century?
That's correct.
Do you have any copies of the Player of
I'd be sweating my balls off talking like that.
the Century plaque?
He does not look comfortable at all, does he?
No, that mullet's wired to his brain, dude.
No.
Any pictures of it?
He gets wired to that converter and fucking that king electrocuted him.
That's how you seen the high score.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess no. I'd have to look for him. I don't know if I do.
Have you looked for any of those pictures?
You would think this guy tells everybody and his fucking brother video game is player of the century constantly. Can't keep it out of his mouth. Lost a plaque.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's like if you were the video game player of the century, especially in like coming into the millennium, that thing is going in a cabinet.
Put it right. I take Messi down and put it. You know.
It's going next to the can of Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't found any to this point.
Billy claims that all of the photos of the plaque that were taken after the event, you know, the plaque that he literally toured with and showed off to everyone, wasn't the Player of the Century plaque.
Somebody else must have took a picture of it, though.
The Player of the Century plaque is the one that he received on stage, and the one everyone's seen since then is a different one. The Player of the Century plaque has never been photographed up close, has never been shown to the public, and has been hidden away from everyone since 1999. And the
Walter Day must have been in on this. He must have been in on that.
The very first mention of this second plaque
It's funny if they all like go to prison right before they die over this stupid shit.
Yeah.
just happens to be in 2000.
Imagine that, dude. That's what they go to prison for. Why did you go to prison? Oh, I think you Donkey Kong.
Yeah, because they lied about Donkey Kong.
2023, a quarter of a century after he was given
You
it.
can't go to prison for that. Well, if you do in court, you can.
Billy wants us to believe that Namco decided to randomly give him 2 awards that look identical, but with one of them having some extra text saying that he is the Player of the Century.
Oh.
But this second award was never mentioned, never hinted at, never shown, and for all intents
I know what we do. We give him 1 placard, Player of Century, and 1 no player. Just give them to him. Why you want to do that? I don't know.
We have taken money.
We have taken money. Give him 2 plaques, but only 1 Player of Century. Why? Shut up. Do as told.
purposes didn't exist until now. If you're wondering why Billy has to create the second plaque, it's because, as I mentioned before, the plaque we've all seen says nothing about the Player of the Century. So Billy has to invent a second one that no one has ever seen that definitely does say Player of the Century on it. So where is this Player of the Century plaque? Well, according to Billy, he donated it to the Video Game Hall of Fame in 2010.
I like how he sells checkable eyes too. Yeah,
That's the thing I was going to say.
located?
Let me guess, they lost it.
Yeah.
Today.
Oh, I don't know.
UPS lost it in the mail before it got to the
I believe it's
place.
at the Hall of Fame.
Where's
Hall of
that?
Fame.
That's in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Is that the International?
Oh,
Video
that's
Game Hall?
the Hall of Fame. That's the one. What's his name owns? I just said his name before.
Oh yeah, you did.
That's his. But I just said his name like a minute ago. That's how bad my memory is, folks. Unbelievable.
Hall of Fame.
That is.
Okay. How did it get there?
Well, maybe it was 2010 that I initially donated it there.
However, when Twin Galaxies deposed the director of the Video Game Hall of Fame, Jerry Byram, he said that Billy never donated it, and that the Video Game Hall of Fame doesn't have the plaques.
Oops.
Twin Galaxies also spoke with Brian Cady, who Billy said was at the Hall of Fame at the time he donated it.
All right. And who did you donate it to?
The International Video Game Hall of Fame.
Was there anyone in particular that you gave the plaque to?
I don't
Well,
remember.
at the time, Brian
Walter
Cady.
Day. Walter Day. That's Walter Day started that Video Game Hall of Fame. Wetumpka, Iowa. What the fuck would put anything there?
Was there, and Jerry Byram was there.
But again, Brian said that this never happened.
Did somebody volunteer to move to Wetumpka, Iowa? Like what kind? Oh, that's awful as it is.
Basically, the plaques no longer existed. Billy couldn't provide them, and Billy had no photos of them. But then, in a shocking turn of events, on the 26th of June, Billy did provide a recent photo of the plaques, and proclaimed that they had been found. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really weird. The picture Billy provided shows multiple awards. One of them was a certificate given to Billy by Walter Day with the title Player of the Century. To be clear, this is the only time anyone has actually crowned Billy the Player of the Century.
His friend gave it to him. That's like me giving you an award, saying co-host of the century.
Going to say that. Hold on, Tommy. I'm going to sit in Photoshop and I'll walk for all of us just now.
Congratulations!
Matt, what do you want?
But given that Walter
Ridiculous.
today's Billy Mitchell
Red, white, and blue tails on it. Like, oh God.
Mitchell's lifelong friend and business partner, it doesn't really carry much weight.
Yeah.
That would be like me calling Moist Critical the video game player of the millennium, and
He is. Might as well be.
then he just goes and calls himself that for the next 20 years. Well, in a crazy coincidence, I did crown Moist Critical the video game player of the millennium in a secret ceremony. I even gave him a plaque, though unfortunately, you'll never get to see it. But you know this is true, because Moist Critical himself is now calling himself the video game player of the millennium.
Hey, it's me, Moist Critical, video game player of the millennium, intergalactic gaming champion, cosmic gaming warlord, the barbarian of the digital realm.
All right, that's it. We only got a little time because I got to do other duty. So let's watch the third one. I think we got the point across. This one I don't know as much. This one I didn't watch. You know, this is the most. This has happened. Came out a day ago.
I made a
So I guess we're gonna get all three. So we'll give this 30 minutes and call it.
I made a video talking about the infamous red joystick, where new photos emerged that confirmed Billy Mitchell, video game player of the
That other
century.
guy's a known cheater too. He's a Mr. Activision. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a cheater. He sues and gets shut down immediately. And if you see him in the movie, he's like living with. He's got like 10, 20 snakes in a trailer, and like where's he get? But he loses like as soon as he walks in the courtroom. You really ought to. You never saw King of Kong?
No, I've never seen it.
You missed out. It's like one of the greatest documentaries. Forget gaming documentaries. It's one of the greatest autism documentaries ever made. It really is. It's 80s autism. If you want to watch one bigger than that, Chasing Ghosts. You got to watch Chasing Ghosts. What should you watch first? Actually, no. Chasing Ghosts would drive you crazy because it takes itself seriously. Go watch King Kong. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It actually just makes fun of these dorks.
was playing on a modified machine. For those out of the loop, Billy Mitchell claims to have achieved the Donkey Kong World Record at a mortgage brokers convention in 2007, and contends that he achieved the world record on original hardware. And he is suing Twin Galaxies, the most well-known record-keeping organization, because they claim that Billy didn't play on original hardware and removed his world records. The photos were huge news because it showed so concretely that Billy wasn't truthful. It was just so easy to understand. You didn't
doesn't even have a dust cover, you know?
Need to know any technical details. You just needed to know that an original joystick is black and not red, and playing on modified hardware was against the rules. Well, here's a secret. Twin Galaxies had these photos since 2020, 3 years before that video was made. And yes, even I knew about these photos as well, but the photos were kept secret, ensuring that Billy never knew the photos existed. Twin Galaxies was waiting silently, waiting patiently, until the time was right to unleash the photos onto the world.
We unleash the dragon! The red joystick dragon.
And that time was during Billy Mitchell's deposition. It was critical that up until his deposition, Billy did not know that
all cool samurai say Hadouken, dude. Knock it off.
Twin Galaxies knew that the joystick was red. This would ensure that Billy would fall into any traps that Twin Galaxies might lay, and to lay traps they did. You see, the lawyer for Twin Galaxies is very smart, and Billy is, well, Billy. Need I say more? And let's just say that Billy was outmatched and outwitted. Billy had no idea what was coming, and Billy fell face first into one of the biggest self-dug holes I've ever seen. You are about to receive a...
See, that's why Karl's dragging this out, because Billy tried to sue him. I don't know if he's not even in court. In Australia, by the way. Where's he get the money for this shit? Karl's just like, he's dropping elbows, he's spiking the football. He's setting the whole stadium on fire. Fuck it, you know.
Masterclass in how to question a pathological liar, and you are about to witness one of the greatest moments in deposition history. You are going to love this, and I cannot wait to show you.
Yeah, I bet you can't.
Now, legends, in this video I've partnered with Geology.
I don't care.
Is it the King of Kong Fistful of Quarters?
Yes, it's a good movie. You'll thank me if you watch that movie, and you'll get a good laugh. You fucking doing the show about degenerates. It'll definitely for you.
Yeah,
but he's not on Discord, dude.
The other one is called Chasing Ghosts. If you wanna, and then that covers like the way they see themselves, you know. But there's actually good stories. That's actually a really good documentary. But you gotta be hard into it to watch that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know that Twin Galaxies knows this. The plan is to get Billy to lie and say the stick is
free on YouTube, by the way.
Black. Then, after he's already perjured himself, they can show the photos and prove the stick is red. But the way they do it is very strategic, and they slowly and methodically allow Billy to dig his hole without realizing what's happening. To begin, they ask general questions about what an original Donkey Kong arcade looks like. Notice how they don't go straight for the stick, instead making it seem like it's just a natural follow-on question, therefore not startling Billy.
They're walking him around the block. My grandfather was a union leader, and you have to have a good lawyer. And he had a guy who was sort of like Columbo. He came in, he didn't dress right, he was always acting fucking confused and shit. And the witnesses, you would think like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, right? And he didn't even have it like, it's sort of that stereotype with Better Call Saul, which I think they stole directly from All in the Family. When Archie goes, get me a Jew! You know? So he would go in there, he had like an Irish last name. His name was like Delaney, you know, and he'd be like, fiddling around with his paper. Everybody thought he was a fucking thick-headed Irish idiot. And then he would walk, my grandfather called him, walking you around the block. You know, to put a bullet in you. So I think what we're about to witness is a walk around the block.
What color is the cabinet?
Sometimes blue, usually blue, sometimes red.
It's true.
And that's how you can tell it's an original Donkey Kong cabinet?
They're both original.
Okay, with the blue or red?
That is correct.
Okay. What color? How many buttons does it have?
1, 2, 3, and a joystick.
Okay. What color are the buttons?
You can make the buttons any color you want.
What about an original Donkey Kong? What color were they?
Blue and red.
And red. What about the joystick?
Black top.
Got him. Got him. It's over. It's the end of this. So now you know why Karl's getting so.
Yeah.
I mean, can't sue everybody, man. It's like that scene in Stand By Me. What are you gonna do? You can shoot us all? No, just you, Ace. That's one of the greatest scenes in movie history. No,
it's a great movie.
That's a great movie. Just you, Ace.
I'm sorry?
Blacktop.
What does that mean?
Joystick, blacktop.
Is it always a blacktop?
Never seen anyone but black. Well, no, I have seen other ones. I've never played on one other than a blacktop.
Got him!
I bet the lawyer didn't even think of that.
No.
Damn. Just walked into it.
You know how he got him? His arrogance. Because he has been tongue to get it right, you know?
What other color tops do they have?
White.
What other color aside from white?
I don't really think I've seen a color other than those. Not
so white or black.
See, the thing is, too, I think the original joystick. Donkey Kong. It's a. Let's see. It's four-way microchip. I mean, but I think it's his.
Was the red not?
No, but no, I don't think it's just the fact that it's red. I think it's I think the micro switches are more. I mean, who cares the paint job? It's what's in there. But I think that particular joystick is not a. What the fuck do you call it? I don't remember. Sumitsu. There's Sumitsu, and then there's. Oh, maybe Donkey Kong made their own joystick. Period. Maybe they didn't. Or Nintendo did.
Yeah, because I remember the red ones were 8-way. I remember that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to use an 8-way too.
No,
it
no.
would screw you up. Yeah, but you know what it might be? What's the two styles of joystick? There's two types. Two types of arcade. I forget. I've actually installed these things before, so. If you're Japanese or American, but there's two types of Japanese. I can't remember. Buttonmashing.com. Yeah. I forget what they're called. Arcade joysticks types, because Sanwa and Sumitsu. I think that those are the two big ones. So those are the ones you can buy to repair a machine or something. Like I have Sanwa in there, but there's a possibility that they're just micro switches. Micro switches are cheap. That Nintendo made their own joysticks specific for Donkey Kong. So yeah, then it's not original hardware. They're gonna have to loosen up on that rule eventually if people are gonna go for the record still. They may even have to loosen up on boards and that new technology that it doesn't emulate the game. It actually it completely recreates it. It's a type of emulation, but I forget what it's called. They're probably going to, because these boards are going to start dying soon. No one's going to be able to play it, but that's another time.
Yeah, again, almost always black.
Billy has already taken the bait, confirming that an original joystick is almost always black and that he himself has never played on anything but a black joystick. Notice how the lawyer only asked what the color of the joystick could be, and didn't actually ask Billy if Billy had played on a joystick that wasn't black. This means that Billy was answering a question the lawyer didn't ask, which is a huge mistake. Any lawyer will tell you if you are in this position, it's critical to only answer the questions you're asked, and to avoid avoid making statements that aren't necessary. But Billy loves to talk and just can't help
he wanted to show everybody how smart he was. Yeah.
himself. The first question about the color of the joystick was 50 minutes into the deposition, and the next time it would be brought up again would be a full 1 hour and 20 minutes later. It's important when placing traps to space out questions so that the witness forgets what they've previously said and what questions they've previously answered. This also prevents the witness from knowing what the plan of the lawyer is. Now the lawyer for Twin Galaxies asks what the specific cabinet looked like in the mortgage broker's world record. Again, not going directly for the stick, but asking general questions beforehand and leading into it.
Was it a blue cabinet or a red cabinet?
It was, gee, good question. Yeah. I think it was blue, but that's a good question.
What about the color of the buttons? What color are they?
I don't remember anything being different than the usual blue, blue, red.
And then we talked a little bit about the...
I'm sorry, I don't know the color of the buttons.
Okay. What about the color of the joystick?
If it wasn't black, I wouldn't have played it.
Why is that?
Because he can't shut up.
Yep.
Because he can't shut up. He can't shut the fuck up. That's why I don't tell anybody anything. That's just true to life. Don't ever answer a question. Don't volunteer anything ever. Ever.
Because the other joysticks are not real joysticks. They're not Donkey Kong joysticks.
They're not four-way joysticks?
They're not authentic joysticks.
They'd be something else?
Yeah, they'd be something either not from Nintendo or something I'm not familiar with playing.
It's probably what I was right. It's a Nintendo joystick. It's not a Sanwa, or a Sumitsu.
Billy falls into the trap again, stating that he would never play with a joystick that wasn't black, and reiterating that a joystick that isn't black wouldn't be authentic. When you have a witness that is so easily being set up like this, you don't want to expose them too early. You want to milk them as much as possible. If you have someone like Billy who is so willing to lie about something that you can prove is not true, you want to allow him to lie many times to increase the damage. What's really fascinating is that Billy Mitchell defenders, and God knows how they still exist, will try to argue that the red joystick is original hardware, or that it's simply not an issue.
The stick is OEM red and black. Your video did not go into detail about how that stick was not an official stick.
Grasping at straws is what they're doing. Grasping at straws is what they're doing. Now they got a red joystick. Ooh, we got him now, boy. Ooh, we got a red joystick, and we got him now. Oh, we got him right where we want him.
Where are these people come from?
Disgusting.
Oh, God, he's got an autographed picture of him behind him. Jesus Christmas.
Dude, I'm starting to question everything behind me now.
Yeah, maybe knock that shit off, you fucking
I mean,
dork.
I'm just looking behind me and I'm like...
That's just the guy with arcades behind him, Tommy. Come on. Jesus.
Who's worse, people, the person with the arcades or the person
me
with
and Will are the
PlayStation gear?
normal ones. This guy's fucked up, not us.
Absolutely disgusting. Wow, man.
Unfortunately, they are either lying or misinformed. The joystick being red is...
Or stupid. Never discount that, Karl.
Absolutely a problem, and was against the rules. And not only was it against the rules, but it's modified hardware and therefore destroys Billy's lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, which hinges on his argument that he played on unmodified original hardware. And that's why Billy has...
Well, Nintendo only checked the board, they didn't check the joystick.
no choice but to lie and say the joystick was black. Twin Galaxies continues to allow Billy to keep digging.
If the buttons were incorrect, would that make it? Would that make the arcade machine non-authentic?
Objection.
If you know,
Pay gets to incorrect and
The other lawyer figured out what's going on.
calls it speculation. But you're talking about the color or the?
Yeah, the color.
The color?
Yeah.
No, the color is
Like if there were
irrelevant.
purple buttons, would that make it a non-authentic machine?
No. If it wasn't what we call a plunger button or a Nintendo button, plunger button's a better word,
right?
Then that would be incorrect, I guess.
And then if it wasn't either a black or white joystick, would that make it a non-authentic machine?
No. It's a four-way joystick.
That's the thing, but you can get a different ball top, though. Several different ball tops. Like, I can unscrew and put ball tops on those. I imagine you could do that with the original front, because it looked like a Sanwa. I can't believe that Twin Galaxy's that strict on it, but I guess they have to be.
The ball on top is almost always black. Very rarely have I seen anything else. If it wasn't black, then I wouldn't have played it.
And why wouldn't you play it?
Because it would be a different feel. When I say that when I express it confidently, it's just that I know I would have ran away from it if it was something different.
It's incredible how easily Billy is manipulated into lying. Billy is overcompensating here, elaborating on questions the lawyer isn't asking, and the hole that he is digging just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Now that Billy has already established the joystick should be black and that he would never play on it if it wasn't black, we now want to focus our attention to the color red. We know the joystick was red, so we want to ask Billy directly what he would do if he encountered a red joystick. However, the lawyer again doesn't go straight to the color red, instead asking about other colors first.
If I showed you a photo of the machine with a purple joystick, would that be the machine that you played on?
No.
Definitely not. What about a green joystick? Would that be the machine you
He's
played
got to know. Now,
remember
see,
it
if I
being
was
black.
the other lawyer, I would know he'd got him.
What if it was a red joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
But what if it was a red joystick?
Objection.
Yes.
Explanation calls for speculation. It's you're asking him if the joystick he says is black was red.
Yeah.
What then?
Yeah,
That
what
doesn't
then?
make any sense. Are you asking whether he would have played the machine?
Yeah, would you
if
have
it
played
had
the
a-
machine then? If it was a red joystick?
No. I would have made him change it to black.
Did that happen?
It was black.
This is amazing. After this lawsuit...
See, I don't think the colors really matter. It's the type of joystick.
It's what's
because
what's
if
what
the
it's doing.
joystick was the right joystick, it had a red ball top. But that's not a regular joystick. It's the joystick. It's not the color. But it has that. You know, I don't know what kind it is, but it has that. It's a completely different joystick. It's not the color, but the color proves without a doubt because the joystick that they have that they're showing doesn't look like it has a screwable wall top in, and I think.
No.
The original one does.
Suit ends, Billy absolutely needs to become a shovel salesman because the rate at which he is digging this hole is impressive. What's incredible is that Billy's lawyer is objecting to the questions about the joystick being red simply because Billy said the joystick was black. This might be considered badgering the witness because the lawyer is asking questions that conflict with what the witness has already testified to being the truth. But knowing the truth, it's completely reasonable for Twin Galaxies to repeatedly ask about the red joystick. The lawyer claims the question makes no sense, and if Billy were telling the truth, the question wouldn't make sense. It only makes sense because Billy is lying.
What if it was a red joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
But what if it was a red joystick?
Objection. Explanation calls for speculation. It's you're asking him if the joystick he says is black was red.
Yeah.
What then?
Yeah,
That
what
doesn't
then?
make any sense. Are you asking whether he would have played the machine?
Yeah, would you
if
have
it had
played the machine then? If it was a red joystick?
No.
By this point, Billy has dug a hole straight through to China and is now just oscillating back and forth.
Wait a minute, you're Australian. You're too close to China to dig a hole. You should be digging a hole in the States. Is that what they say? I always wondered what they said on that side of the world. Because we say that in the States. You dig a hole right to China, right?
Yeah,
See?
yeah.
Yeah, but what if you're like fucking not that far from China? You can't dig a hole to China. You're going like, you know, it makes sense if you're on the other side of the planet. You know,
Fourth between
they dig their way to Albuquerque.
Yeah, dig your way. Yeah.
two opposite sides of the Earth. It's finally time to unleash the photos. But again,
unleash the dragon!
This must be done
You really think that's funny, don't you?
It's just the fact that it's just good old-fashioned family racism.
It's not racism. That would imply hate. I have no hate. I love the way they talk.
strategically and
what, like you watch Dragon Ball Z, they're all talking like that.
Oh, I don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know. I don't think it's racist.
in a way that doesn't startle the cornered animal. So first, we show a picture of the cabinet with the stick hidden behind a human barrier, so that Billy can't see it. We want to get Billy to confirm the cabinet is the one he played on, without letting him know that
Let's see. Oh, thanks,
the
Al.
color of the joystick.
I'm going to now show you Exhibit G, a picture of Mr. Mitchell with Todd Rogers at the Florida Association of Mortgage Brokers show.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Is that you?
That's me.
Is that Todd Rogers?
That's Todd.
Who's the other gentleman there?
Don't know.
Okay. Is that the Donkey Kong arcade cabinet that you played on?
Hold it, shine. It's not that deep. I earned my money on this one.
It looks like it's it.
Success. Billy has confirmed that particular cabinet is the one he played on. There is no escaping now. Billy's demise is inevitable. This was critical because another point that Billy Mitchell defenders tried to use is that the cabinet in the photos was not the one that Billy actually played on.
It's just astounding to me. Like, I don't understand how you're gonna sit there in a video and claim that one specific part on the machine that, mind you, Billy didn't play. Billy did not play the machine
photo op?
that is in the photo. So you can't sit there and say that he played it.
Can you imagine being a young guy like this and actually giving a fuck this much? Well, I can't. Maybe I know Maris memes. we should just like look up Maris memes and watch his shit.
Even if it's not the same machine. So the whole case, the whole thing that Karl's been sitting on and hinging is a photo of a cabinet that Billy didn't even fucking play on.
However, again, this is
the thing. Like, how do you know he didn't play on it? Like, admittedly, this is before the testimony we just heard. But why would you put yourself out there like that? It makes no sense to me.
uninformed and misguided because Billy had already...
It's weird or an autistic. This is what you call 2000s autism.
He testified that it was indeed the cabinet he used. Now
I got the blue wall sound because it looks like Sonic.
it's time to put Billy out of his
Sonic is blue.
Misery. The lawyer finally shows Billy the full cabinet in all of its red glory.
Yeah, see what I mean? Like the stick is, it's not the typical ball top. It's like a long stick and a ball top, yeah. By the way, I don't agree with that rule. I think that rule's ridiculous, personally.
I'm now going to show you Exhibit H. A picture.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Wouldn't they have to show them this stuff before? Because the exhibit, maybe they wouldn't, because it's integral. I don't
Deposition.
know. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Another picture of Mr. Mitchell at the Florida Association of Mortgage Brokers.
Uh-oh.
Do you see that there?
Yep.
Is that still the same cabinet that you played on?
No. Lie, please. Please.
That doesn't look like the joystick, though.
Was the joystick changed?
They switch it out?
Not by me.
Oh, I know. He knows he got him.
Maybe in the photo.
So are you contending that photo was altered?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm saying I don't remember the joystick being red.
That's the only thing you can say. That's it. That's the only place you can
That's
go.
it.
Yeah. Because then because they got to prove you're fucking perjuring yourself. And it's like, if you don't remember, you don't remember. Yeah. Then you got to prove
Yeah,
you're
because
lying.
he's locked himself that much into a hole.
It's
Like,
the only
I don't
out.
remember.
It's not the way I thought it was. I thought it was black. That's it. It's his only out.
That's all.
Isn't it true, Mr. Mitchell, that you played that machine on an 8-way joystick?
No.
Oh, you were right. You thought that was an 8-way.
It was an 8-way.
But you wouldn't.
guys,
That's
what's
the thing.
difference
That's
here?
what.
Hello?
8-way is like analog, Matt. So it's like, remember Nintendo? If you were running with Mario and you had to put the D-pad, because that's 4-way, you had to push it diagonal just to get that extra high jump. The stick, you could just diagonal it, and that was that. You're ready for that jump.
8 ways instead of 4-way. Yeah, but I have. If you look at the one, well, actually, no, they got them. I guess I got them back up. I thought if you look at my arcade, the Street Fighter arcade with the Celtic scarf on it, this. Let's see, I go back here. This button right here changes it from 8-way to 4-way for me, so I can play 8-way and 4-way games. Not that. But the reason I do that is games like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong are more difficult to play on an 8-way. You know that?
Yeah, they're too. They just go over the place.
The other thing too, I don't think I added this on one of the videos. One of the videos mentioned the woman that was there said he set the record very quickly, which it takes about 2.5 hours to set this record because that's when it runs out of RAM. So, yeah, they just pulled it. More than likely, they pulled this thing up. He took a picture in front of it and said he broke the record. Like it was that much in the fix. That guy.
Billy reacts in a flurry of random off-the-cuff remarks, insinuating that this wasn't the joystick and that someone else had changed it. It's honestly ridiculous. But what is he supposed to do? Billy had utterly and completely trapped himself by his own lies about the stick being black to such an extent that there was nothing he could do to salvage the situation. And if you are expecting some kind of epic climax and gotcha moment from Twin Galaxies, you'll be disappointed. The point of Depositions is just to get the admissions you want, and then the big dramatic moments come at trial in front of a jury. So at this point...
He's probably not going to trial. Oh no, he's getting sued. That's right. It is going to trial.
They had gotten what they needed, and they moved on. And if you think this kind of thing rattled Billy, you would also be disappointed. Lying to this guy is like breathing to you and I. Even after getting...
He looks rattled to me. He looks older.
He does there. He does now. He's seen the photo.
Getting more exposed than I've...
You're thinking he's having a nervous breakdown. He's not that much. He's more of a man than that, but I mean, he looks pretty fucked to me.
Seen anyone get exposed before. He just moves on like nothing ever happened and continues to lie for the next 4 hours. He is a lying machine, and he will not stop until every ounce of his dignity...
I will stop him!
...is dead. One final note, one of Billy Mitchell's biggest defenders on YouTube, Van Buren20, said something interesting in his video defending Billy. He said this.
He goes into detail and shows a picture of a red joystick saying it's not an official joystick. It's an 8-way cheater stick. And I'm telling you right now, it's a bunch of bullcrap. Do you know why these pictures exist, Karl? Let me just fill you in. The only reason why these these pictures exist and they came out of nowhere and you're like, oh, Billy didn't know about these pictures. And oh boy, is he going to be scared to see these photos. These photos just recently got released because Billy released them, okay? Billy's lawyers subpoenaed that convention to get those pictures for evidence, which is why they exist now. Do you think they're going to release a photo if they thought it was going to hurt his case?
No, not on purpose, stupid.
Ask yourself that question. Are they going to go and subpoena for this photo? And then if it's going to hurt him? No, they're not.
The claim is that Billy knew...
You got to go watch Van Buren 20. Keep that name in mind, Matt.
...about the photos, and it was Billy that released them, because they didn't hurt his case. But let's ask Billy if he had the photos. I mean, if anyone would know if Billy had the photos and knew about them, it would be Billy. Let's see what Billy says.
Do you have any photos of the mortgage brokers score? No, I'm sorry. Do you have any photos of you at the mortgage brokers convention?
No, I don't.
Do you have any photos of the Donkey Kong arcade machine that you played there?
No.
Wait a minute. Billy says he didn't have any photos, but Van Buren just yelled at us, telling us that he did know about them and that he released...
He made it up. And the other guy made it up too. Like, it's funny that he's these people that like lie for him or just make shit up. You know, or go by maybe something they heard in a Discord or some fucking thread. Or it's really amazing.
It's the hero. What's the term? Can't remember the term. But it's like, don't want to see the hero fall.
Yeah, so...
And it's the thing is,
you
for them,
made
it's
your
coming.
hero attached to your personal identity, so it's an attack on your identity. So you're kind of instant. Yeah, you gotta. It is a. I mean, really, this guy should get Jordan Peterson on this. Fucking figure this fucker out, man.
Them. Is Van Buren suggesting that Billy knew about the picture?
I think he is a liar. First, $5. JFA is right. This crime is R adjacent. Oh,
gaze.
So disgusting. Did fucking he really say that?
Them to Twin Galaxies.
Yeah, this is all adjacent Nazism.
Then said he didn't have any photos and lied about what the photos showed. If true, I can't even be mad. That's an extremely impressive level of stupidity.
You bring shame to all of Pac-Man!
Sycophants is that they don't yet realize that Billy is a pathological liar. So they'll just believe whatever he tells them and then repeat it confidently, not realizing they just end up looking like complete idiots.
And Donkey Kong.
Unfortunately, they just don't know much about what's really
Japanese
going
culture.
on. I'll let you know another secret. When I made that original video about the red joystick, I already knew what Billy said in his deposition.
8-way joystick.
I already knew he
4-way joystick for Donkey Kong.
I remember it being black.
Shame. Shame, Billy Mitchell. Shame.
Would that be the machine you played on?
I officially take away gamer
I already knew
of
that
the
Billy
century.
Mitchell said a red joystick would not be the same hardware.
I'm gonna give him a heart attack. If you like that, sub and stuff, and give me money.
If it wasn't black, I wouldn't have played it.
Was it?
Because the other joysticks are not real joysticks. They're not Donkey Kong joysticks.
They're not four-way joysticks?
Dragons in the chat.
Authentic joysticks.
Forward, down, forward.
Sonic boom!
Sonic boom!
I already knew that Billy had confirmed the cabinet in the photos was the one he played on.
It looks like it's it.
I already knew that Billy said he didn't have any photos himself.
Do you have any photos of the
I've already confirmed that Van Buren's a retard.
Donkey Kong arcade machine that you played there?
No.
As someone who is getting sued by Billy Mitchell, it is my duty to be informed.
Let's tweet Van Buren and the other guy and say, hey, yo, Karl Jobst shouted you guys out. Awesome. You know? Hey, did you hear Karl Jobst shouted you out? That's so crazy.
Tell me read that donation.
Read that. I missed that one. I missed a good one.
You missed that one.
Hold on. Hang on a second. What do you got? Oh, I gotta fucking log in and everything.
Oh.
Fuck. I'll check all the. I'm missing good donations here.
You missed a good one.
Yeah. Reminder of the day. Tommy forgot to close his window again. His neighbors. Fuck off. I had to check.
There's an angry Japanese man.
Yeah, they're closed. Jesus. Oh, man. That's why my phone here. I can't open it. Hold on a second. Because, you must enter code for Twitch. No, we can't get in. What did it say? Can't get in. I don't want my phone's fucking off.
Asian bad guy. Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
About everything that is going on with Billy Mitchell. And it's shocking how confident people can be when they couldn't be more wrong. You might
confidence making shit up.
Think my Billy Mitchell videos are pretty crazy, but truth be told, I barely scratched the surface of Billy's antics.
More foreshadowing for more videos.
I can assure you, you still have no idea just how insane Billy is.
I do, because when Apollo Legend died, he seemed to have absolutely no remorse. Like none. Like a poor kid. Like nothing. He was just like, hey, don't blame me for his suicide. Okay, we won't, but that's kind of like, don't you just feel awful? You did sue him over video games shit, and he did kill himself. You know?
Most people don't even realize that people like Billy Mitchell
change the screen. The video's not shown, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Could exist. They don't appreciate that pathological liars are a real thing. And it is my duty to enlighten you as to how dishonest people can be. When more people wake up, we will all be better off. Thank you so much for watching.
I don't know about that, but whatever. Excellent work. Go watch the rest of the video. There's more there. Asian. Shame Optimus Wilbur. Shame. Why do you think that's so funny?
I just think I've always found it funny, dude. I laugh at a swinging gate. Come on.
You never beat Mike Tyson.
I could beat Mike Tyson.
You never beat Mike Tyson?
No.
I beat Mike Tyson.
And no, I can't even remember. Dude, I actually went back to play that Punch Out on an emulator, and Glass Joe beat me.
Oh, you suck, Dan. You suck at games.
Yep.
What's the matter with you?
Dude, I've got 1,000 G in Oblivion. I've maxed that.
Jesus. Hold on a second. Let me shout out my Pats, as I like to call them. I like to call you guys Pats. Okie dokie, Outback, Mexican, Shakedown, Everbone, Let's Quick, Schmitz, Tommy C's Cat, and Pilkington. Oh, pay $10 a month. For God knows I don't know. And that's it.
You had to wait when I was going to take a vape there to see if I'd choke. This is a new game. Let's see if Will dies with a heart attack or chokes on stream.
Yes. Okay, okay. All right, I gotta go. Fucking. Let's see if those dorks are around. Let's see. Tommy C's Happy National Men's Month. Oh, go boy. Real 16-bit Pete. Eat me, Pete. Ching Chong Bailey Mitchell. Stop, that sounds kind of racist.
That's racist now.
Ching Chong Willie Mitchell.
Who the angry Japanese guy?
Oh no! You bring dishonor of all the Falcon in my family. Oh, my family. All right, everybody. I think that's it. Good night. There is no after show today because of duty with. Let me write these jerk offs. Oh, I got to go to my other account here because I have to check in with the new boys. Yup, I'll be there. All right, guys. All the best, everybody. I'll see you around. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, and all that other good stuff. And good night. Bye. Have a good one. Good game. GG.